The next day I went to AA, and I walked in there, and there was a guy in there, and he was definitely sicker than I ever was, and he was a known criminal, and I mean, just all these things, but he was clean and sober for years, and he was a meth addict, and shot needles, and he did a lot of prison time and all that stuff, and he looked at me and he told me how he didn't really like Yankees, but if I was willing to do what it took to do this, he would help me. And I asked him what it was that I needed to do. And he sat down with me, and you need the power of God in your life. That's what I needed. And he didn't quite phrase it that way, but I mean, it's pretty darn close. He said, if you're willing to go to any lengths, then the help is here and it's available to you. And I said, I tried meetings already, and all of this stuff, and think before you drink in 90 meetings in 90 days, and that stuff really didn't work for me. He was like, that's not what this is about. This is about you developing an intimate relationship with God, because he's the only one that's going to give you any help and hope at this point in your life. I knew that God was the answer to these problems, but I didn't know how to apply God to these problems. I didn't know how to put God in my life and keep him there. I didn't know how to do that. And he said he knew the way to do it. And I really had nothing to lose. He said that I needed to abandon myself utterly to God, be willing to give my entire life, over to God, to his way of life. And if I was willing to do that and I kept doing that, that all of this stuff would be taken care of. And the only thing I really had to lose was a backpack. That was it. Nobody wanted to have anything to do with me in my life. I wasn't allowed to talk to my child. I wasn't allowed to talk to my daughter. I wasn't allowed to, my ex-wife hated me. I hadn't done anything, as far as helping her out in 8 months. My parents didn't want to have anything to do with me. My sister didn't want to have anything to do with me. That's why I really had nothing to lose. And, I got down on my hands and knees and I offered myself to God. I got to say, my problems are gone today, and they've been gone for nearly 6 years, 5.5 years now. And they're just not there. And I continue doing that one thing. And the Holy Spirit made no sense to me before. It made no sense to me. I didn't see it around. I didn't know where to go get it or anything. Today I feel it on a regular basis. I feel it in my soul. It's just, it's there all the time. No, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. I don't know how to rephrase that. It's there when I choose to pay attention. And in my case, it's truly a matter of life and death. I know it's kind of like backwards. Sunday's like the day where most people go to God. But Sunday's really kind of like my day of rest with God. It's, during the week that, I spend a lot of my time, working and talking with other people that are drug addicts and alcoholics and, things like that, and going to meetings and trying to start things. And, it's just and it is the greatest thing in the world that, I absolutely love it. My entire life is a freebie. It's a gift. It's I did not earn this. It's truly by the grace of God that I've been given these opportunities, and the opportunity to work with others reminds me of that on a daily basis. And that's one of the greatest joys that I have in my life today. But God's given me gifts beyond that. I don't have a lot of material things. Can't even afford shirts with sleeves. No, but I have, but I have more than more than I need. The greatest gift has been God's given me my family back, and I'm a son today. I have an awesome relationship with my mom and dad. I talk to them multiple times weekly. They're sick, they depend on me. They're worried, they depend on me. It's a great thing. They trust me. It's an awesome thing. My ex-wife is like my best friend. We have the kookiest relationship of any husband and ex-husband and ex-wife ever. We talk pretty regularly. And I mean pretty regularly, like sometimes multiple times daily. She's been a good friend, to me once she started believing that I was on the right path, and it wasn't my words, it was my actions, and my actions have been consistent over the years. And my greatest gift might be sitting next to me right now, and that's the pain of not being a good father was probably the most intense pain, that I've ever experienced in my life. The joy of being a good father is also, probably the greatest joy I've got to experience in my life today. And that takes away a lot. You're not allowed to cry. This is my job, Steve. So, this is a great deal. I love my church. I love what His Hands Church does. here. I love being a part of this. I love being a part of the AA community. I love being a part, I love being a part of God's way, and I believe in that full 100%, with everything I got today. If you're out there struggling, you have an addiction, cocaine, alcohol, heroin, pornography, gambling, food, it doesn't matter. I'm absolutely sure, and I see it over and over and over and over and over again. All you got to do is believe that God can help you out and pursue that with whatever strength that you have, and God will take care of it. I mean, it's just true, and the more you give yourself to God, the more you're gonna get in return. It's 100% guaranteed. Not 50%, not like the rehabs and stuff with 3%. 100% guaranteed. Follow His way, all will be well. The mountain of stuff, that was before me, before I turned my life, abandoned it to God, was immense. I had no job, no ID, no nothing, and it's all gone, and in this place is the most wonderful things that I ever thought existed. And it's just, it's an awesome deal. So that's my God story.